Ask a kid today where they get the information about drugs, and it's not their parents, it's not the DARE assembly from like 20 years ago, it's their friends and TikTok and whatever the dealer tells them. So somebody had better build an answer, and somebody did. And Scientologists have for many years run a very successful campaign called Drug Free World. It teaches kids about the dangers of drugs. And these are booklets, they are seminars, they're public service announcements, and teaches people for real what is the danger of drinking too much alcohol or taking ecstasy, or what are their names: cocaine, crack cocaine, crystal meth, heroin, LSD. How do you take them? What will they do to you? What will they actually do to you? Millions, probably 100 million, you know, I wish I had the numbers, but many kids, well, it's definitely more than 100 million, I know that, have been educated, kids have been educated on the danger of drugs. And, you know, who else is going to teach them these things? How many lives have been saved because a child knew the dangers of drugs before they took them? You know, they didn't listen to their friends or the dealer, you know. There's also a documentary on the Scientology channel. It's called The Truth About Drugs. Real people, real stories. You guys can watch that on Scientology.tv. And it basically goes into the truth about drugs, what it really does, how it ruins lives. People die from drugs all the time. And what is a drug even? Well, a drug is basically, it's essentially is a poison. It's essentially a poison, and what determines the effect is how much of it that you take. A small amount of the drug stimulates. And the reason it stimulates is because the body is suddenly on alert. It's on a high. We got to fight back. Whoa, what just entered our system? We got to fight back. That's a stimulant. Small amount of the poison will do that. That's what drugs are, why people take them, why people take whatever drug, alcohol. They all have slightly different effects. Alcohol affects the nervous system. Other drugs affect different parts of, or the body in different ways. Now, if you take a larger amount, it sedates. It puts the body sort of to sleep, right? Because now the body has to rest, and it really needs to concentrate on fighting back this poison, all right? If you take a larger amount than that even, that kills. And that's what a drug is. It's basically, essentially, a poison. That's true of alcohol, of medicines, street drugs. The difference is the dose curve, how much of it is taken. And kids need to be taught about these things, and they're not always taught in school. So that's why Scientologists stepped up. I love the people who are involved with this. Particularly passionate are those that were affected by drugs from friends they lost when they were growing up. There are some areas in the United States and other countries that are just, the areas are ruined because of drugs. And it all starts with a miseducation, or more importantly, a lack of education about the dangers of drugs. And now you know a little bit about where Scientology is coming from. If someone attacks Scientology, maybe they make money with drugs. Do you ever think of that? Okay, well now you have a better idea. Very serious subject, but great payoffs. You know, if you have one child that knows more about drugs because they saw these Scientology, and we pay for these things. We pay for these public service announcements, for these commercials. Where does the Scientology, money in Scientology goes? It goes to these types of things, you know. Fentanyl is like 50 more times more potent than heroin. But kids don't know, and they don't know where these things come from. Sometimes they didn't even know they were going to take fentanyl, and then they're dead. But that's where we come in. We teach about these things. We don't want these things to spread. So okay, so here's a statistic. From 2020 to 2024, 75% of overdose deaths among young people ages 10 to 19, people who weren't educated about these drugs, involved fentanyl. 75% of overdose deaths involved fentanyl. So we make people aware of fentanyl, what it does to communities, what it does to children, you know. So we're not going to let these things continue to grow. And you are lucky that we have Scientologists that are willing to educate and fight back against these elements of society that are bringing it down. We're here to bring it up. Thank you for watching the video. Share it, please. Have a nice day.